Welcome back to the channel. Today we're diving into a tale that's both chilling and thought-provoking. A story that echoes through the corridors of Jewish folklore. Our focus: the enigmatic Lilith and her bevy of daughters. This isn't a narrative found in the pages of the Bible, but over the centuries, these figures have been painted as a blend of allure and menace. Beautiful yet deadly. Entrancing yet treacherous. Now, before we dive into the depths of this eerie tale, let me remind you to hit that like button, subscribe, and ring the notification bell so that you never miss out on any of our spine-tingling narratives. And at the end of this video, don't forget to type "I believe" in the comments section. This is your chance to declare your unwavering faith. So are you ready to step into the world of shadows and secrets? Let's do it. In the dim oil lamp lighting of ancient times, the rabbis wove tales of Lilith, a figure born of the same dust as Adam, a first wife who rejected subordination to her husband. Imagine, if you will, the Garden of Eden, a place of tranquility and unity where Adam, the first man, resided in blissful harmony with his creator. But soon, a change was about to ripple through this idyllic existence. According to the mystical Zohar, Adam was not initially intended to live a solitary life. He had a companion, a counterpart, Lilith, who, like him, was formed from the dust of the earth. However, their relationship was far from the picture of marital bliss. You see, Lilith had a spirit of independence that refused to bow to Adam's authority. One fateful day, when Adam, being a descendant of the fallen angel Samael, attempted to impose his dominance on Lilith, demanding that she lie beneath him, she balked. Oh, no, she wasn't going to be subjugated. Now, armed with knowledge gleaned from the serpent and emboldened by her own lineage, which traced back to the immortal Belial, Lilith stood her ground. She invoked the name of God, and in a flash, she was gone, leaving Adam in the solitude of the garden. It was as if she had vanished into thin air. But where did she go? According to tradition, she made her way to a desolate land near the Red Sea, a place known as the Land of Silence. Here, surrounded by the crashing waves and the cries of the desert wind, she built her lair, cut off from the garden and banished from Adam's side. Now, you might be wondering, why was Lilith cast out? After all, she was created as Adam's equal, wasn't she? Well, here's the thing. In those ancient texts, they didn't really have the concept of divorce. Once two people were joined, they were joined for life. And in Adam's case, he couldn't just let Lilith go. So what did he do? He went straight to God and complained about his unruly wife. You know, the whole "she won't listen to me" routine. And God, being the ultimate authority, decided to send some emissaries, 3 angels, to bring Lilith back. These heavenly messengers descended upon her in the Land of Silence and delivered God's ultimatum. He wanted her to return to the garden and submit to Adam's authority. But Lilith, oh, no! She wouldn't budge. Her spirit was too wild, her will too strong. And as the sun began its descent, casting long shadows across the land, she gave the angels an eerie warning. If they insisted on forcing her return, she would unleash her full wrath. The rabbis wrote that after this ominous threat, the angels beat a hasty retreat, leaving Lilith to rule over the night with her daughters. You see, during those pre-dawn hours, while the world slept, she roamed freely, causing all sorts of havoc. Sometimes she'd swoop down and snatch babies from their cradles. Other times, she'd entrap young men, leading them astray with her mesmerizing gaze. They called her the Angel of Death, because she seemed to revel in the fear that gripped people whenever she appeared. Now, let's shift our focus to Lilith's daughters. They were not just any ordinary beings. Oh, no. Each one was a vessel of temptation, a siren in human form. And their story adds another layer to the enigma that surrounds their mother. The rabbis told tales of 7 daughters, each with their own unique allure and danger. First, there was Nama, the eldest, known for her graceful movements and ability to inflame desire. Then came Agrache, wild one, just like her mother, with flashing eyes and hair that flowed like a tempest. Malat the third was a vision of ethereal beauty, but her charm was as deceptive as it was enchanting. Rahab the Fourth carried herself with pride and majesty, yet she was consumed with a rebellious spirit. Lilith the Fifth had eyes that glittered like stars in the night sky, bringing dreams and nightmares. Tabatna the Sixth was a master of deception, using her charming smile to lure her victims. And finally, Ishith Zenonim, the youngest, was a radiant beauty, yet she had the power to corrupt hearts. Together, they were more than just daughters. They were embodiments of sin itself, vessels of temptation that walked among mortals. Now, you might be wondering, what exactly were these daughters? Were they demons, or human, or something else entirely? Well, that's where things get a bit murky. You see, the rabbis didn't delve into the specifics of their nature. They were a bit vague about that. But what they did emphasize was the impact these daughters had on the world. They were not just figments of imagination. They embodied real temptations, the kind that can lead a person down a path of destruction. And the scariest part was that they didn't appear as grotesque monsters or scary demons. No, they were portrayed as incredibly attractive, almost angelic, and utterly And that's the thing about temptation, isn't it? It doesn't come in a monstrous form. It often appears as something desirable, something that seems like a blessing, but turns out to be a curse. Think about it! These daughters were described as having flowing hair, captivating gazes, and an ethereal beauty that could ensnare anyone. They were the embodiment of what we desire, of the things that seem like a blessing but become a curse. The rabbis taught that their presence was like a magnet for sin. People were drawn to them, captivated by their beauty, and led astray. Imagine being in the Garden of Eden. Everything is blissful and serene until suddenly you see these daughters of Lilith. They don't appear as harpies or creatures from nightmares. They are beautiful, enchanting, and utterly And that's where the trap lies. In their beauty, in their ability to captivate and corrupt. They were the ultimate test of faith, a challenge thrown to humanity. And as the dawn broke over the horizon, banishing Lilith and her daughters back to the shadows, the survivors were left grappling with the consequences of their choices. Some fell prey to despair, consumed by the sins they had committed under the influence of the daughters. Others, however, emerged stronger, their faith fortified by the trials they had endured. They realized that the true battle was fought not in broad daylight, but in the quiet hours before the sun rose. It was a battle between temptation and faith, between the allure of sin and the call of righteousness. And those who stood firm, who resisted the clutches of Lilith's daughters, emerged as victors, their souls purified by the fires of adversity. Now, as we bring this tale to its close, let's remember that the story of Lilith and her 7 daughters, though rooted in Jewish folklore, holds a timeless lesson for all of us. It teaches us that temptation often appears in the most enchanting forms, and it challenges us to look beyond appearances. Just as the daughters of Lilith were vessels of sin, so too can the things we desire lead us astray. The story is a reminder to stay vigilant, to keep our eyes fixed on the path of righteousness. So, as you navigate the twists and turns of life, remember the tale of Lilith and her daughters? May it serve as a guiding light, helping you to distinguish between what glitters and what truly shines. Thank you for joining us on this journey through the realm of Jewish folklore. If you enjoyed this tale, please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And as a token of your unwavering faith, type "I believe" in the comments below. We'll see you next time.